Why you keep cheating on your diet? Let's go. So this lecture may just about save you months of wasted effort and a lot of time really killing how you see yourself because you just can't stick to a plan and not get to the physique goals that you're setting out. We're going to uncover why this is happening to you and how to fix it. So, first and foremost, there are two versions, there are two people I'm going to speak to in this video. The first, or the second actually, is going to be the type of guy that likes the idea of change, but if we're being honest, he wants to, but doesn't really want to put that work in. I've got something a bit deeper for you. And then we've got the first version, where it's like you want to change, but for some reason, you just keep fucking it up. And it's like half annoying you. You can't understand why this is happening. So, you started off on this path. You start at 25% body fat. You've made progress over the span of like 12, 13 weeks from the old version of you to what we'll now call the current version of you. Old version of you was really bad habits. It was late nights. It was junk food all the time. It was no tracking. It was barely getting in the gym, 5K steps a day, just low level behavior, poor mindset stuff. You understood that that version of you has got to go and you didn't want to be this version. So you started to get some order in your life. You started to structure a routine. You started to train 3 times a week. So I do 10K steps, started to eat whole foods, started to sleep a little bit better. You start to tick off all these things in the current version of you. And you start to make this progress. Now, the reason why you can't get to the new version of you, you can't really push past this point, is because what you didn't do along this quest, you didn't update who you actually are. You, although you're doing these things, still see yourself as this guy. This guy is still the guy that's living inside your brain, but he's just doing these tasks. So you still feel like you're this like loser that doesn't really train, has no structure in his life, is okay being 25% body fat. You still see yourself as this person, like deep down in your head. You still, even though you've kind of like made these habits kind of part of your routine, you're not as fat as you used to, your clothes fit a bit better, you can lift a bit more weight, you still see yourself as this guy, as this 25% body fat human being with low sense of self. Now, what we must do is we must update your self-image, because otherwise you can't breach past to the new version of you. You are like an elastic band that has been stretched from old you to current you, but is just ready to snap back at a moment's notice. You make a little bit of progress to here, but the old you is just so deep ingrained, deep rooted. He's ready to snap back and just be who you always were, this 25% body fat guy. Because you've probably been this guy for a long period of time. You've probably never seen a six pack. So therefore, it's like to get there, you half even don't believe you can actually get there, even though you've gone from 25% to 17%. There may also be events in your life which, let's say it's certain times of the year, and that reminds you of like bad times in your life where you were like at a really like goblin version of you. And naturally, as that time starts to come around, you're like, oh, your brain's telling you, oh, well, it's that time again. Remember how you felt last year. And you've just confirmed that you are still this version. You've not grown from it. Because you keep listening to the voice inside your head who's saying, you're this loser version of you. And you remember the time that you broke up with this girl. And you remember the time where this traumatic event happened. Well, you're still that guy. Because there's always this guy on your shoulders, and like if you listen to your thoughts 24/7, you have an awful experience of life. Because most of the time he's coming up with negative, anxiety-inducing thoughts that keep you in this version of you. When I've said on this channel many of times, to get to 10% body fat is really just a mindset thing rather than a tactics thing. That's why most of my videos on this channel are dry lectures that speak about concepts rather than telling you to pull calories on week 4 because you only drop 0.4 of a kilogram and you need to drop 1 kilogram. Like, obviously, this is what I do in my direct one-to-one coaching, but what you actually need is this style of knowledge, because it's more of a mindset shift to get there. When you can get your mindset right, you can control that voice inside your head for starters. You can control how you take in information from other people and you don't let it sway you off course. I spoke about in yesterday's video how you need to remain on the center line. Life will throw you off. People will throw you off. Your own brain will, to be honest, throw you off. Like we all have like a second, like a chip. Have you ever heard of the term like the chimp on your shoulder? There's a whole book on it called the chimp paradox. It's essentially controlling the chimp, or you can see it as like the weaker version of you, who's always saying, "Oh, let's do this, let's do that," and he never really says anything productive. He only really just throws shade at you. But you will start to listen to it, because if you don't understand that you've got your logical thoughts, and you've got this version of you who's telling you to do this, that, and the other, if you don't get a grip of that and you follow it, you'll never get anything. And that's what it was a book. They taught us it in the army, actually, in the context of adventure training. So I'm actually here in Cyprus at the minute, and I used to come here with the army, and we would do like rock climbing and stuff like that. And like when you were doing rock climbing, you had the chimp on your shoulder going, "Oh, don't step up on this ledge. What happens if we got nothing to grab on? We're going to fall off this wall and like smash our pelvis off the wall." So we used to use this model to get over it. To be like, no, you don't listen to the chimp. You do the logical thing. You go over the steps because it's a proven route, and it'll be okay. A lot of you just don't have you don't understand this, and you don't have a concept of the chimp on your shoulder. So we need to bring that to your life so you can actually get a grip of this. So there's the first thing where you understand you're not going to listen to the thoughts that saying old you behaviors, old you tendencies. What we're going to do is update your self-image, because if you've spent 12 weeks going from 25% to 17% body fat, your new self-image is a man that can spend 12 weeks following structure, losing body fat, looking better, clothes are feeling better, and overall just you are a better human being. If you got less body fat, you're a better human being. It literally is the case. For the most part, it literally is the case, because everyone would rather be 10% body fat than 30% body fat. Those that are 10% body fat just have a better control over their mind than those that are 30% body fat. People who have a good control over their mind generally are good people. Like the people that go into schools and shoot children are people that do not have control over their mind, because any sane human being is not going to do that. So we must update your self-image. There are two ways we do this. The first, and honestly, you can piece the two of them together. The first one is quick daily affirmations, and the second one is visualizations, what I like to call a mental model. We'll start with visualizations, actually. It's an interesting one. So when I used to be in the British Army, I would speak in front of a vast group of people, like 150 people, and I would brief them, because I used to be a sergeant, and I used to deliver physical training to mass groups. Now, before I would deliver a big presentation, a big speech in front of everyone, I would visualize how it would go, to the point of I would visualize me stood in the room, the projector behind me, where the people are sat in front and looking at me, and I can see everything. I'm also visualizing me delivering the speech effectively. I'm pausing at the right time. I'm speeding up at the right time. I'm being concise with my words. I'm being loud. I'm speaking from my diaphragm. And saying it with pride, and I'm not missing a single word, and I'm being impactful and influential. And I would visualize that, and then I would deliver it, and I would deliver good level speeches. Obviously, I'd make sure I knew what I was saying as well beforehand. So I would visualize me achieving that. This year, I delivered a photo shoot in the UK, and one where both my brothers are on it, and I was also dieting down as well. So I'd visualize that the three of us stood together, we're brothers, we all look great. And you can go and find that picture on Instagram, probably on this channel actually, as a thumbnail. And I would visualize also that the team photo, how many people we would have there, and me sitting down just before the photo is going to get taken. I'm sat in the middle, and my guys are around me. And again, you can find that photo on Instagram. But I would always visualize what was going to happen. And then my brain would find a way from where I was at that given day. So let's say mid-March, I'm doing cardio on the cross trainer, ready to get in shape for it. But I'm visualizing the day in June when I'm sitting down in front of everyone. Everyone's in great shape. We're all looking great. And that photo is literally pinned at the top of my Instagram. But you need to visualize it first. And naturally, when you visualize things of who you're going to be, your brain will find ways of taking you from where you are now to achieving that thing, because it almost doesn't know the difference, that it was just a thought that has not happened yet versus something that is happening in the here and now. So your brain will find a way to complete the deficit. You see the difference here, rather than your brain that is actually trying to pull you back to the old version of you, because you're listening to the thoughts here, you're acting and confirming that you're still this version of you because you're listening to your brain. You can see how, like, I'm trying to give you good knowledge to put inside your brain here. Naturally, if we left you to your own devices, this is what you put inside your brain. Do you know why I know this? Because you're watching this video because you can't stick to the plan even though you want to. So you want to, but your own brain is working against you, giving you all these inducive thoughts. I know you get these because every human gets these. So we need to give you something else to put in place for this. We need to fill your brain with good quality knowledge, just like you need to be around good quality people to have a good quality life. So visualizations is the first one, and this isn't really a mental model of how you want things to go. This would be in the context of getting in shape. You're visualizing yourself that you are an athlete. I've said this a million times on this channel, and I'll keep saying it because it works. You will visualize that you are an athlete, and that you each and every day wake up and you do the cardio that you should do because you're an athlete. You eat like you should do because you're an athlete. You say no to the food you shouldn't do because you're an athlete. All of these things you will visualize. Now, in the micro, you can have a list of affirmations. These are just essentially words that reaffirm who you are. It'd be like, I am a proud man, and then you would sit up straight. I speak with conviction, and then you speak from your diaphragm. I am a happy person, and naturally you would just start smiling. All of these, they don't have to be many, they don't have to be long, but if you've got these and you look at them like first thing in the morning or last thing before you go to bed and constantly remind who you are, what character you actually are, they don't need to be many or you just won't stick to them. If you had anywhere from like 5 to 8 and you just looked at them every day, it's like, I am this, 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 and you're constantly telling yourself, you are this person, there will just be a time frame between this and who you actually end up being. And that's how you update your self-image, through the affirmations and the visualizations. And eventually you will go from current you to new you, because you will find a way to close the gap and to close the deficit. This is how you stop cheating on your diet for the most part. This is how you actually stick to something over the long term. So this is how you fix something if you actually did want to change. Now let's say this is hard enough. We know this is hard enough even if you want to change, but you've actually got to want to change. Deep down, there are some of you that are trying to get in shape that don't actually want to change enough. Like you actually, like if I'm being honest, and I've worked with people, you don't actually want to change. Like, because like gun to your head, if I say you've got to get to 10% body, here's your 27% body fat. I'll give you 6 months. I'll give you 7 months. There's more than enough time to get to 10% body fat, or you will literally die on the end of the 7th month. You get in fucking shape. You'd cut all your bullshit, you'd cut all whatever lies are going on throughout your brain, and you just get the job done. So like, we can really understand that it comes down to, you just don't really want to change. Do you know why? Because you are comfortable and you are satisfied. So you may be 18% body fat, but your partner likes you and your friends like you, and like there's kind of a bit of a desire to get better, but there's no real pain, there's no real like reason why you want to, because you're comfy, you're not dissatisfied. If you're dissatisfied, you'd fix it. And the analogy I like to give for this is, if this line denotes lava or hot coal rocks, and I push you on it, you will jump off as fast as possible because it is hot and it is uncomfortable. Now, let's say the hot coal rock line denotes your standard for something. So if you fall below the hot coal rock line, or even if you jump on it, it will be hot and it will be uncomfortable and you'll do whatever it takes to get off. I.e., if you go below your standard of body fat or standard of like relationship or money in your bank, you will do whatever it takes to get back to this standard because it's hot and it's uncomfortable. No one likes to feel like they're regressing in life, so you do whatever it takes to get back here. The problem is, your standard is low. You have low sense of self. That's why you're okay with it. You're like, yeah, I'm 18% body fat, but like, I could get in better shape. I haven't really got the desire to. My wife's not going to leave me, so, well, what's the point? Well, the point is, you should always be looking to progress in life. It's not really about, so every time I produce a transformation, I'm like, yeah, great, we've changed another life, it's another transformation. I set good transformation. It's the only really goals I set for the year is the amount of results that we get. But what if, say, I achieved the amount of results I set for the year? Yeah, cool, nice, progress. But like, I'm going to set a bigger one for next year, because it's not about how many results I did. It's about the fact that I'm progressing like year on year. That's the main thing. Like, you always want to be chasing progress, because that's where true fulfillment's going to come from. It's not the thing itself. It's not being able to rub your abs. It's being able to say, last year I was 13% body fat, now I'm 10. Last year I could press 30 kilogram dumbbells, now I can press 32.5s. Because it's about progress. If you're always progressing, you will always be in a great mental space. If you're always in a great mental space, your self-image will always be in a great mental space, and you'll be able to actually achieve the things that you want to. But a lot of you have lower sense of self, you don't progress, you get comfy and satisfied, and then you can't Your son's sense of self tells you that you are this version of you, and that's why it's so hard to change and to stick to something over the long term. So you need to really get pissed off at the fact that you have low sense of self and that you're okay being comfortable and satisfied. Because for men anyway, if you get to this stage, you're just going to start decaying. It's so hard to maintain something. Like it actually is. It's so hard to maintain 10% body fat. You either really want to be on it and you're trying to progress, or you won't be on it and you're just going to be getting softer. Like to just sit at maintenance still actually in a weird way takes that discipline because of the level it's at. So you can't get comfy and you can't get satisfied. Otherwise, it will just start to add fuel to this low sense of self. Because you're like, yeah, I'm comfy. Anything above is too, I just don't need it. It's too far beyond me. Even if, like, you are 10% body fat and to go any leaner, you're like, I don't, like, yeah, I could do, but it'd be hard. You still need to strive for it. Like, you always need to strive for the next thing above. Even if what you've got is, like, most people's dreams and most people can't even get there. Even if you've got that, you always need to be edging towards progress. Because if you're not, that's how you end up in a poor space. That's how you stay old version of you. And that's how, like, you just can't stick to anything for long enough. So that's why you keep cheating on your diet. If you want help doing this for you, like literally one-to-one me to help you get results like this, check out the first link in the description. If you want to join our wider community and go at your own pace and go through more concentrated knowledge like this, then check out the second link in there as well. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.